Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and Alan Franklin and Varnika Shri. Actually, we have given topic as details for physically handicapped. So those details has to be covered in respect to materials like when you use for thermal insulation, and you have to check for the floor finishes also. So the details for physically handicapped has to be taken considered for thermal insulation as well as your flooring materials. You can give the specifications of how to lay the flooring material and what material can be chosen. Alan left out.
Ma'am, I can read.
Yeah, what happened? Why did he leave?
I don't know, ma'am.
Was there in the meet. Okay, so you have to take in pertaining to thermal insulation as well as the floor finishes. Okay.
Okay.
So acoustic insulation as the third unit. So acoustic insulation, I think we have studied about architectural acoustics in last semester. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this will be a similar thing, but you will be reading about the materials of which will be used for acoustic insulation. You would have read the calculation of how much insulation should be provided, or how much noise will be coming out in a particular room. All those things we would have studied in the last semester. This we won't deal with any calculations, or we won't be dealing with the construction details here in this building materials. So you will be seeing about those in BC, and this will be just revealing about the materials that can be used for sound insulation or sound absorption. Actually, there are two kind of insulation. So one, you can provide materials such that it will insulate, that is it will absorb this, it may not absorb the sound, it may just reflect back. Okay, so that can be provided, or the other method is you can provide it using a sound absorber. So it will absorb the sound inside the material, and the sound which is passing through the material will be half the amount or will be lesser than that. So the full potential of the sound will not be reflected when it passes through the sound absorbing material. So those are the two types of insulation that can be done for acoustics. When we say about definition, it is reducing the sound pressure with respect to the sound source and the receptor. So uh, when we consider rooms like we will be providing acoustic insulation in auditoriums, theaters, concert halls, conference rooms. All those places will be provided with acoustic insulation. So we will be having a different types of sound sources, and there will be a different materials of receptors, that is the area where it receives the sound, that is called receptor. So those will be different. A theater will have a different environment, a concert hall will have a different environment. So likewise we have to see how much the sound source is being produced in a room, and how it is being uh, transferred with the receptor. Okay, how much noise you need, how much sound you need to be reflected back, or how much sound should be reduced, that has to be taken into consideration when we do the sound insulation. So acoustic insulation is majorly to reduce the sound pressure which is caused inside a room or passing outside from the room. this is similar like how we do for dam proofing and either thermal insulation. When you give definitions for dam proofing, thermal insulation and acoustic insulation, you have to just consider one important point. So one everything is you have to remember only the terminologies. That is the first unit, it will avoid dampness and it will avoid the water passing through the material. Okay, the second unit will be about the heat reduction or heat gaining. So third one will be noise. So you have to just remember what is for what. So damp proofing, thermal insulation and acoustic insulation, all the three will have a similar kind of definition, that it will either resist the movement or it will reflect the movement, or it will reflect back any kind of noise or heat, or maybe the dampness is being reflected back. So all three definitions will be similar. You have to consider only the uh, terminologies which we use for damp proofing, acoustics and thermal insulation. Okay, and there are basic approaches to reduce sound. So first approach will be, you have to increase the distance between the source and the receiver. So when it is too close, when the receiver is too close, it, or he is sitting very near to a person who is producing sound or which is producing sound, then he may hear a lot of loud noise. So when you increase that distance, this that sound traveling through a distance, traveling through air will be reduced. As we have read in physics, you know that the sound traveling in air will be reduced because of the air particles which is present inside it. So then, if you increase the distance between the source and the receiver, the sound will be reduced. And next method is using the noise barriers to reflect the sound waves. So it can be reflected. And the other one is the absorption of sound waves. So sound reflectors or sound absorbers can be used for insulating. So these two, all these methodologies can be adopted to reduce the sound. And you can also reduce the sound by using damping structures, sound such as sound baffles. Sound baffles are using anti-noise sound generators. Do you know about baffle roof? It will be similar material like waffles. You know what is a waffle? Waffles, like we will be eating wafers are there. So wafers, and you also have waffles. So that will be in the shape of wafers itself, but the projection and the material which is it will be in a check shape, and it will be in a depth. Okay, waffle. So sound baffle is something like that material. Okay, so baffle roof, they will be using the roof materials in a check shape in a check type, and then they will reduce the sound using the materials which will be provided above. Okay, and acoustic quieting, noise mitigation and noise control can also be used to limit the unwanted noise. So like we have two soundproofing problems. So when you have a chamber called any chamber, so where the air will not, sorry, the noise will not pass through, or the noise will not come out, so it will improve the sound within a room. Okay, when you use this in the chamber. And next, it will reduce the sound leakage to or from the adjacent rooms or the outdoors. It will reduce the sound leakage which is passing on through this chamber. Okay, and the next one is it will also suppress the indirect sound waves. So reflection will causes echoes, resonance causes reverberation. Um, I think you know this term. So when the sound gets reflected, it causes echoes. You know, when you're going and speaking out in an area where you don't have any furniture or any utensils kind of thing, when you just go and speak inside a hollow room or a barren room, you can feel that the echo is being reflected back. Okay, so that will cause echoes, and resonance causes reverberation. So this also we have studied in physics itself. So resonance, you know what is resonance, how to cause resonance, and what will happen when you cause a resonance. This is about this is a brief introduction about acoustic insulation. And when we come to the materials, we have acoustic plaster itself. So when you plaster the wall, you can actually use a material along with cement plastering to make it a acoustic plaster. So it will contain like plastic plaster will contain fibers or aggregates which will absorb sound, and it is applied to a thickness of 1.5 inches. So depending upon the room which we are providing the noise insulation, or depending upon the area where you want the noise insulation to be provided, and how much it has to be produced, how much it has to be reduced, all those has to be taken into consideration when we use this plastic or any kind of materials. So this can be used up to 1.5 inches. May not be compulsorily used till this. It can be used uh, if you want more absorption, then you can use up to 1.5 inches. And the properties are, it is easy to apply and it is a fireproof material. Okay, and the ingredients are actually gypsum, imported aggregate plus additive. Okay, and this material is very fragile when it is affected by physical stress and humidity, it seems. So when you provide stress upon the material, or if the water content is the humidity content is more in the atmosphere, this material may get affected. It may start to come out, or it may just start to fall off. So it is basic ingredient is gypsum and important aggregate and additive. So gypsum, we all know how a gypsum will react when it is undergoing more of humidity or moisture content. So the same effect will be here, and the density is around 600 to 650 kilogram per meter cube, and the noise reduction coefficient, that is NRC, which we are calculating, that will be around zero point 0.6. I'll be showing you what is noise reduction coefficient in the next PPTs. We'll just see about the materials now. And advantages are no post curing is required. After you lay the material, you can just finish it off, and you can come off and you can use the material again. You can use the area or the spaces. So we don't need any post curing. So after laying, we don't need time for it to set. And it is next free from shrinkage cracks. So when you are making it into stress, or if you are having some humidity content, it may have a shrinkage. When the humidity is more, it may have a shrinkage, and it should not, it is actually free from shrinkage cracks. It will not cause shrinkage when it is also affected by the humidity. That's what they are saying. And it is manufactured with advanced technology and special formulation, since they are using it with the imported material and the additive. So they are taking this plaster from developed countries to create this plaster. And uses is that we can use acoustic plaster in auditoriums, libraries, meeting rooms, and multiplexes. And next is the acoustic tiles. I think you would have seen acoustic tiles in most of the theaters. When you go, you may find panels of tiles being pasted on the walls, and those will be porous. When you just look near the tile, you can feel the porous materials being there in the tile. And if you just look closer by, you can see that it is porous, and you can feel the porous texture in that. Okay, so that porous material will absorb the sound. Okay, it won't reflect more of the sound from the area. So it is a porous material, and it will, so it should not be used in high humidity, or it should not be potential for water damage. That's why they are using it in theaters and auditorium. So you should not expose it to the humidity. It should be kept indoors. Like plastering, which can be done outdoors. We will be doing plastering in the outdoors most probably. So here this material should be used only in the indoors. And sound absorbing wall panels can be fabric wrapped, so that you can also provide a fabric material to wrap around it if you don't want the material to be exposed, the porousness should not be exposed in the sense. Then you can also wrap it up with the fabric. Okay, and we have fire rated acoustic foam or covered in perforated metal, and it can also be covered with the acoustic foam or a perforated metal. These can be given for extra aesthetic purpose. They can serve they can serve a different purpose when you compare with the porosity of the tiles. When you see a porous tile, you may not feel good. So if they want to improve the quality of that material, or to see that the material is not porous, they may provide either a fabric, or they can provide a acoustic foam which is fireproof, and or they can provide a perforated metal. So this material is actually it can be installed quickly, and it will actually reduce echoes, and it will improve the speech intelligibility, and it will absorb the sound. And this material can be directly glued to the wall or ceiling, and it is coming under the lead category because it is a material which is manufactured from recycled contents. Okay, and acoustical foam is a very lightweight material, fiber-free alternative to other types of acoustical panels. Like how we have used in thermal insulation, we can also use foam here uh, in acoustic insulation and cover the see, I showed you a picture with wooden battens and foam being poured upon that. Likewise, for the acoustic insulation also, you can have wooden battens on the walls or roofs or even floors, and you can place the foam in between the battens, and you can cover the material. Okay, so this material will actually serve as a good sound absorber, since the foam is not so thick, and it will be more porous. It can easily absorb the sound. Okay, next is about the wood. Wood is also a porous and fibrous material. Actually, the sound is produced by vibration of the materials. If you are providing wood, they say about the sound of a xylophone bar. So you know what is xylophone, right? So they will be doing that xylophone bars with the wood. So when you take about the sound of xylophone bars and sound boards, you the material itself will produce sound actually. The xylophone bar will actually produce sound because of the vibration that we are creating onto the material. Okay, you have to just hit the material, and the vibration that we are hitting, the vibration that we are getting will produce the sound.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma.
xylophone bars are different from sound bars, ma'am.
Sound bars. Which is sound bar? Sound boards, I said, not sound bar.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay, and the performance of this material will depend upon its density, and you have to calculate Young's modulus and loss coefficient to check about the noise uh, which is producing, and to reduce the sound. Okay. And to determine the speed of sound in that material, we need to calculate the region frequencies of the wooden bar and intensity of the radiated sound. Next one is the particle board, which is also called low density fiber board, that is LDF, and chipboard. We have medium density fiber board, we have high density fiber board. This particle board is a low density fiber board, and it is also you can also use a chipboard along with this for the particle board, and it is actually manufactured from the wooden chips, as we all know. They'll compress all the wooden chips and make it into a board, so that will be used for sound insulation. And it can be made from sawmill shavings, even sawdust and synthetic resin, and a suitable binder is used to bind the material. And they are also called as wafer board, flake board, and the chip board. And the properties are, it is denser and more uniform, as you can see the material, and it is lightest and weakest type of the fiber board. They have different densities, so depending upon the necessity we can place this particle board at with different densities, and it has a greater strength and greater resistance. So this is an example of placing a particle board in a I think they have given it in a recording studio, so that it's an example. So when you take sound insulation and sound absorption, sound insulation will reduce the amount of noise that is passed through the medium. Okay, sound absorbing reduces the amount of the reflected back in the premises. That is, it will absorb the sound, and the amount which is reflected back is being reduced. This will actually explain you what is sound absorption. So incoming sound, the noise is absorbed, sound is absorbed here, and even the reflected sound is less, and the outgoing sound is also less. So this is sound absorbing material, and this will be about the sound insulation. Okay, so they pass through this material, and then they give out the sound. These are the two types of sound being created. So one is airborne sound. How the way we speak, which may be reflected back through the floors. So that is airborne sound, and the impact sound is what we create with our foot or hands. All those things, and it is up. It can be achieved through sound absorbing and sound insulation, as I told you. So when you place light boards, how you place it, and the distance between the boards, or even the volume will create more amount of sound insulation. Okay, so when you take a single particle board or a single light board, it will reduce the sound, and the uh, noise which is coming out will be 30 decibels. And when you have a double wall without any cavity in between, this noise reduction will be 36 decibel. And when you have two particle boards, and when you create space in between, a cavity is created in between, then it will have a noise reduction of about 50 decibels. When you place insulating materials in between these two, the noise insulation will be more, and the sound insulation will be more than 50 decibel. So here they have told how you have to provide the sound absorbing material. So as we do for thermal insulation or damp proofing material, you can place the sound absorbing material, and you can also place a sandwich above that material. So that will act as a barrier. So when the material is subjected to any kind of pressure, it has to pass on through this sandwich panels, and then it has to reach the sound absorbing material. So this sandwich panel will actually protect the materials from um, actually protect the materials from reflecting more sound. Okay, so sandwich panels with elastic membrane in between them, and this is rubber spacer, and this is vibro hanger. So all those will support the sound insulation or the materials which are being provided into that. So these are the types of acoustic insulation materials. So one is mineral wool, and next one is the polyester wool, and next one is the foam polyurethane. And this you can see the thickness of mineral wool is 30 to 100 kilogram per meter cube, and polyester wool is looking as so we are taking a scrub pad that we use in kitchen. So it looks the material looks like the same, and you can see the thickness of each and every material and the coefficient of airflow resistivity of the materials. So how much airflow can be reduced using these type of materials has been shown. uh, since this polyester wool is more porous, it won't reduce the airflow. Okay, it will reduce, but it will be it will be of a less quantity than when you compared with the mineral wool and the foamed polyurethane. Even this foam polyurethane, you would have seen this as a sponge material. We would be using it for erasing blackboards in our schools and all. So that kind of sponge material is foam polyurethane. So these are the types of materials again. So gypsum facer, cement facer board, and wooden board. So wooden boards are low density particle boards. Cement facer board and gypsum facer board are materials which are done along with the cement and gypsum. And they also use elastic membranes like the bitumen membrane or the heavy vinyl, which will be using it for flooring. So that can also be added along with the partition wall to provide a sound insulation. Okay, this is the rubber spacer which is provided of- which will separate the hanging construction by the perimeter of the wall. So here the rubber spacer is being provided to avoid the material being stuck to this ground. So this is vibro hanger. They have provided support for hangers to be in position. Okay, so for that they have provided vibro hangers. And when you do for ceiling, you have to follow this methodology. So first one is your concrete slab, then your sound absorbing layer, and third one is your hanging construction where we provide spacing for providing the electrical wires and the plumbing layouts. Okay, then third one is the hanging construction. 4, 5, and 6 are board with elastic material between them, and vibro hanger is the seventh one, which will hold the materials together. This is how you have to do the sealing again. So even for sealing, we are placing sound absorbing material, and we will be placing a um, one more material which will act as a barrier. And this is for sound insulation for a floor. So, the laying would be similar. Like you have to have a concrete floor, and below that you have to lay a soundproofing material, and below that or above that you have to lay a flooring material so that it will avoid the cracks and wear and tear of the material, acoustic material. Okay, so concrete slab, elastic membrane, mineral wool, or elastometric metric with high density. So all these will come under the noise insulation material, and then floor coating, laminate, and then carpet. Either three, that would be enough, and baseboard. So for sound insulation for a floor, we have materials like elastic membrane, mineral wool, and elastomeric. And sound insulation can also be provided in doors. So when you make doors, you can provide sound insulation with the in that, and annex chamber. So for creating annex chamber, you need doors and windows to be made into a sound insulating material with the help of sound insulating material. So for that, we'll be providing a sound insulation in a door. Okay, so this will be the metal plate and elastic membrane layer, and heavy thick layer, and 4 is the sound absorbing layer. So mid part will be the heavy layer where we are uh, taking the material along with soundproofing materials to create a sound insulation door. And even for sound insulation of windows can also be done.